Hi everyone, welcome to the production version of our application. So currently you can see that we have the changes that we have developed here over the last few episodes. So we have the logout button here and we are currently logged in. What we can see here is that this is currently, or the browser is warning us that the connection is not secure. This means that the information which is exchanged between us and the server is not being encrypted. So if somebody, for example, had a password to your Wi-Fi, they could see the information you are sending. And as we are implemented, or as we have implemented, login and registration functionalities, this is not what we want to have. And instead of going over the HTTP protocol, we want to be going over HTTPS protocol. So what we need to enable HTTPS on our website, basically we need a certificate. A certificate is just a type of file from a certificate authority. And a certificate authority is an organization that provides these kinds of files. And in our case, we will use a non-profit one. This will be free. We'll use Let's Encrypt. And in order to get this certificate from Let's Encrypt, we have to demonstrate that we have the control over a certain domain. And we can do that using the ACME protocol, which will run on our web host, and we will use it using a certbot client. And so basically this is because we can easily manage the shell access, and it will handle the issuance of the certificate. It will handle the installation. It also has a ton of great settings if you want to use it. However, we will not configure that many settings. The goal of this video will be just the very basic setup. We'll also add NGINX, but not to do anything fancy. So for example, we'll not be handling any requests. We'll be just redirecting the requests which come to HTTP to HTTPS with NGINX. Okay, with that being said, I think we can get started. So what we will need to do is first we'll need to modify our Docker Compose files. We are in our Docker Compose file, so now we'll need to create two more services. So one service will be, as I said, NGINX. We'll use NGINX to forward requests from HTTP to HTTPS. So if somebody goes to HTTP, then ://tomekintech.com or your domain name, then it will forward it to HTTPS. So what we want to have is, let's select image, NGINX. I'll select NGINX. Version 1.15-Alpine. And by the way, over the course of this video, I'll be following a tutorial that I have found on Medium. I'll have a link to it in the description. I think it describes what we'll be doing here pretty well. And I will be following it with a few changes here and there. Now, for the ports, we need to set up port mapping. So for the ports, we need 80 for HTTP and 443 for HTTPS. For free, and these need to be in quotation marks, are either single or double, should also be fine. Okay, now volumes. In terms of volumes, we want to set up a volume between a data folder, data/NGINX folder, that we'll create in a second. We want to map it to /etc/nginx/conf.d. So basic default configuration of NGINX. And we want under service. The service will be certbot, and we want to use an image, of certbot/certbot. This is an official certbot image. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to create a folder which will be called data, and inside the data folder we need to create a new folder called NGINX. You can change the paths here, and then we need to create a new file here, and we'll call it app.conf. In the app.conf file, what we'll do is, this will be the file which will have our NGINX configuration, and as you will see, this will be a very simple one. So first off, we create a web server, and NGINX can be a web server. If you, for example, wanted to only send HTML files as a response to a request, you could just create this HTML file and serve it with NGINX. You could also, if you wanted, for example, to make our application run a little bit smoother, we could also, for example, serve our public files with NGINX. But currently, we'll not focus on this. So our server will listen at port 80, And if you remember, our application listens at port 80, and we'll need to change that. So let's maybe do it now so that we don't forget it later. Let's change the port 80, let's say to port, I don't know, 3000, doesn't really matter. Okay, so we changed it to port 3000. Let's make also a change here in our app to 3000. Okay, and let's go back to our configuration file. So then let's define a server name. Server name is just our domain name. Okay, and then we'll want the location. So basically, if we receive a request, so but just specifying / we take all requests, and we want to return a 301, and we want to currently redirect our user to HTTPS column / $, so that we'll use a variable server name $request URI. And here you're probably seeing what's happening. Basically, we are redirecting it with a return code 301 to the following path. So to our server name, and then / the request URI. So for example, like /user /login or /todos or whatever. Okay, so this is it for now. And let's add a second server. The server will listen to a 443 SSL. So this will listen on the port 443. Then the server name will be exactly the same. It will be tomakintech.com. And then what we will have here is a location, basically the same thing. So here what we'll do is we'll proxy the request to our HTTP / app / port 8000. So what we did here, and why app? Because app is the name of our Docker compose service. So here we have app, and this is the name of the service here, and we listen on 8000. Therefore, when we receive a request to port 443, which is the port for HTTPS, basically what happens is this will proxy, or this will redirect this to our application, and our application will answer this request. And the SSL here just allows us to sort of configure the HTTPS web server. Okay, for now, that's it. Let's move on. Next up, we need to link NGINX and Certbot, because NGINX needs to serve certain files that Certbot requires to handle these so-called challenges from Let's Encrypt. And this is what allows Let's Encrypt to validate the authenticity of our domain. So to the volumes section of our Docker Compose file, to the NGINX part, we add the following volumes. We want to map some data /certbot /conf, so this is the configuration folder, to /etc /let's encrypt. And we want to create a second volume which does the following: /data /certbot /www to /var /www /certbot. Okay, by the way, I will post all the files. Basically, we'll have the whole code as always on GitHub, so you will be able to access this. Okay, and now we need to go to our counterpart on the Certbot image here. So basically what this will do is, because we need to link these images and they need to exchange some files between them, we will create the same volumes on our Certbot service here. Right, so we'll say volumes, except for the first one, because this is for the NGINX configuration. So here we'll say the same, but we'll have etc. Okay, let's encrypt. This stays the same, and then var www certbot. This stays the same. Okay, and now what we need to do is we need to go back to our app.config file, and we need to add a line here. So to the first part of our server, so to our first server, if this receives a request on /dash.well-known Acme challenge, so this is the path that the ACMI protocol uses with Let's Encrypt, what you'll do is you'll serve something that's in /var/www/certbot. This is using the volumes that we have just created here, right? So the certbot will insert file in this volume, and then it will make NGINX able to serve these files from here. Okay, so then we want to move in, and we want to actually configure the certificates, the Ssl certificates. Here in our second server, we want to say Ssl certificate, and this is in etc/let's encrypt /live/tomacintech.com and this will be your domain name, by the way. Here also in the server name, you need to have your domain, not tomacintech.com, full chain.pem, and we need to have also a Ssl certificate key that is in /etc/let's encrypt /live/example.org. Oh, not example.org. Example.org is in the tutorial that I'm following. This is our domain tomacintech.com here /privkey.pem. Okay, that's it. And what we can do is we can configure basically the HTTPS configurations for NGINX. So this is just something that will allow it to run as smooth as possible. So what we want to say is we want to say include /etc/let's encrypt /options or /ssl -nginx -conf, and we want to say the SSL DH param /etc/let's encrypt /ssl.dhparam.pem, and here we also need colons at the end. Okay, that's good. I think here we also need a colon at the end. This is just something that I forgot. Okay, that's good. That's our configuration done. So currently we have a small problem because Let's Encrypt needs to perform the validation, but NGINX currently would not start because our certificates are missing. And what we can do is we can just create a dummy certificates for now. And this we will do using a script that the author of this tutorial has provided. I just quickly went over the script, made sure that there are no dangerous parts to it, and I think it works. So we will use it. So first off, we need to get the script. So what you can do is, because I'm on Windows PowerShell, I just say bash to start bash, and then I will copy a link provided with CURL provided by the author, and here we have the Let's Encrypt file. So in the Let's Encrypt file, what we need to do is we need to change a few things. Here we need to insert the domain name, and the domain name once again, www. And here you can configure your valid address. So I will just say admin, or I will just say admin at tomacintech.com. Okay, and this should be it. Basically what this does is it creates the fake certificates, or not fake, it creates the real certificates, but they will be sort of the dummy certificates. The Docker container, basically the certbot container, will later on pick this up and start working with it. Okay, that's it. We need to do one more thing. What we need to do is the certificates have this downside that basically you need to renew them. And you very often can see companies forgetting to do it. Therefore, we can just set up something very simple. We can go to our Docker Compose file, to our certbot. And here, once again, I will just copy a command provided by the author of the article. And it will basically, as you can see here, it will renew the certificate, and then it will repeat it every 12 hours. And the same thing we need to add to our NGINX. So the NGINX part, what it will do is it will basically reload NGINX. And that should be it. Now I will just commit the files. I will make a push with a new branch to our repository, and then we will see each other on our server. What I've noticed here is that here I have made a little typo. It should be just ssl-dhparams.pin. So here I will exit bash. I will do here. I will make sure that I'm on episode 15 branch here, and I will currently add nginx config, and I will publish. So I'm here at our server. Let's pull the newest changes here. We are already up to date, and we have currently, let's say, ls. So we already have the newest changes. What we need to do is we need to run chmod +x, and then init let's encrypt.com. This will adjust. Oops. This will need to run +x init let's encrypt not .com .sh. Okay, and now we need to start it. So sudo /init let's encrypt.sh. Existing certificates found. You will not get this. I was testing some things before, so I already have some, but I will continue currently. Okay, so it will currently generate a number of things, and it will ask you some questions, I believe, to the end when it will be registering the certificates. It will take a while, so I will see you when this is done. Okay, so for me, it did not ask any questions because, as I said, I already had these certificates because I already ran this script once when I was checking basically what it does. But it will basically ask you if you want to share your user email address, if I remember correctly. But now we have it all configured, so now it's time to say Docker, or we can maybe use our run script. This will be simpler. It will once again build our containers, and now you can see also the nginx and certbot here. And it all should be running. Okay, let's go to a browser. Let's see if it's true. And currently our website does not run, and I think the reason for this is if we go in here we can see in the nginx configuration that here we have the port 8000 while our application is running on port 3000. Okay, I will publish the changes here, and then I will go into our server. I will just say bash run.sh. That's for it to be finished. Okay, looks like this, and let's see if our application works this time. And I spotted one small typo here. That is right here. There was a slash missing. Let's fix slash typo. Let's sync the changes. Once again, let's go right here. And currently everything should be running smooth for us. Okay, let's check if it runs. And looks like it does run. Okay, fantastic. Let's try to maybe log in. So I've just created a test 1, 2, 3, 4 user. Add to-do. Let's add a to-do. Let's do it. Let's remove it. Let's log out. Fantastic. Looks like it works, although we've had some troubles, but for me at least, it's always like this. There are always some small typos. The NGINX configuration is pretty difficult to test, to be honest. However, you can write tests for it, right? So you can just write tests if your application as a whole responds correctly. And then you could also run it on the production version of your application. Then this is good. This will conclude these episodes regarding user login, registration, and now the HTTPS setup. So you can currently see the padlock. I think for now, I don't have any direct further episodes planned for this series. So we may be moving to something else. Although if you are interested in something, I could still see some possibilities. So we could do, for example, a UI overhaul to make it a little bit fancier maybe. We could maybe add a search bar, or we could work on refactors, although that's usually pretty boring. Maybe some closing comments from our side. This, I think, could be a good starting point for you if you just want to learn and develop. What I would, for example, recommend is in our application, we are currently accessing the database in many different places, right? So in every route here, we are accessing the database. What I like to do is I like to create a separate like models folder, what I will hold maybe not the classes itself as would the ORM, but I would hold all the functions. So I would have like a get user function, like a login user function, and so on and so forth, right? Like create to do, get to do, delete to do, and so on. And therefore, then you have this interface that you know that you always use when you want to work with the database. And for example, then if you want to make a change in the database, this will work for you also. Okay, but for now, this concludes this video. I would like to thank you all for watching, and I would like to invite you to watch some more videos that are still to come on this channel. Thank you very much.